On a dark future Earth, and in a plot so ironic it hits too close to home, our species gets invaded and almost exterminated by our own counterparts from a parallel universe. This is the setting in which you play out the base building and postmodern real-time combat of tactical warfare. An indie game in development which uses the Unity game engine and which has a single and multiplayer playtest available right now on Steam. Link is in the description, as well as links to more videos of such upcoming RTS games I have showcased before. With Electronic Arts holding the various Command & Conquer franchises hostage for several decades now and not really doing anything with them, it is no wonder so many indie developers are trying to capture that kind of lightning just in a new bottle. Before I explain the gameplay a bit more and share some interesting details and my own impressions and observations, here is how the playtest of Tactical Warfare works and the game modes you have at your disposal right now. First, there is a nice and simple training mode in which you can test the game's two different camera modes, more on that later, and build up your base and power plants while collecting a single type of a resource from anomalies and training all the units available to both of the factions. Second is the survival mode, in which you do the same, but now have the pressure of enemy waves coming to wreck your HQ building with a constantly increasing number of more powerful units of all types: land, air, sea, and of course the nuclear kind. Third game mode is a 1v1 skirmish versus AI on a winter-themed map of decent size and several resource deposits, where you have a good defensible position with water access and room for aerial incursions and base raids. Last game mode is the multiplayer, where you can choose a faction, Terrans or Asarleons, pick a color, set up your own game and wait for players to join, or go and search for a match yourself in the lobby. Now let's talk about the various gameplay aspects of tactical warfare. As I mentioned, you start the same in all game modes, with your main HQ, no power, some cash, and a build bar on the left side of the screen, which is the first unorthodox thing about this game. The economy is not streaming, but with upfront payments, and obviously there is no construction unit. However, there is the build queue, which allows you to add multiple buildings at once to the construction list, which is visible on the bottom left. You can also use the arrows there to change the build order if you need to. This is the quality of life feature I really liked, but I'm also not sure how veteran PvP players would react to it. In either case, I would love to read your thoughts on this option and the UI design in the comments below. The Fog of War is the old school design, where once cleared, you always have visibility in that area, just like it works in Shrot, the indie RTS inspired by Dune, which I showcased in my previous video, linked up here and in the description below. This type of Fog of War system leads to a very interesting change in gameplay when you use the alternate camera mode by clicking this button on the bottom left of the UI. It instantly switches the game from the default isometric camera to the perspective type of camera, and while you lose the old school feel of the isometric, you gain a much wider map view of the perspective camera. Now at a glance, you can see enemy units coming a mile away, even from the enemy base, and get a much better view of the entire map. Well, better might not be the right way to call it, as I know many of you might not like this perspective camera compared to the isometric one, so let's leave it at different. But the option is there, and it is an interesting thing these developers have done to make the game more inviting to many different types of players. On the other hand, the current key for grouping units is Alt instead of the Control key, which from what I remember from Unity is something that usually comes up and it is changed later in development. But there is a key feature missing right now, to double click to select all the units of the same type. These are two things I hope they change sooner rather than later, as well as adding a proper base energy UI tracker. as the current one is not very clear on how much power you have or might need, so it is hard to plan for extra power as you expand your base. The unit variety in tactical warfare is really good, despite both factions being humans after all, and based on the same system of land, air and naval units with one super weapon each. Every soldier, every tank, helicopter, ship or submarine has a different weapon, type and range of attack. Some even have secondary modes deployable by left-clicking on them when the cursor changes after you hover it above them. Two things with these units that need more work right now are extra variety in unit voiceovers and callouts, and the animations and visual effects of units fighting need to be more pronounced and obvious. For example, artillery is very well done on this front, while tanks have this minimal puff of smoke at the end of their gun barrels. You can tell me in the comments below which RTS games you feel have the best animations and effects of this kind. The super weapons, on the other hand, are just great on both factions, giving an awesome feeling and visual spectacle when you use the nuclear missile or thunderclap surge on enemy bases and units. If you like what you have seen so far, remember to check out the playtest of Tactical Warfare on Steam. Thank you for watching and happy gaming!